Hi, I'm Leigh-Chantelle from Viva and today I'm here with Ward Young from the Coalition for the Protection of Racehorses. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Very good. Tell me about your group.
Well, the Coalition for the Protection of Racehorses is a non-profit organisation which was basically founded to do justice for the racehorses who don't get a second thought or even a first thought within the racing industry. You've got horses that have to participate in jumps races where they risk their lives, and a horse is killed every year in jumps racing.
So what's the difference between jumps racing and just normal racing?
Yep, well, jumps racing is where it's just like any ordinary race, but horses need to go over obstacles at high speeds. They can jump up to 33 obstacles in one race over a distance of 5.5 kilometres. So it's quite a gruelling sport, and we see many horses die, but many more that are injured and simply disappear from racing afterwards. And then, of course, the other issues we have is the fact that ex-race horses are killed for dog meat when they're no longer profitable, treated as disposable objects. The animals being whipped, flogged to within half an inch of their life, and the racing of basically babies, which is 2-year-old racing, where they're underdeveloped and they have breakdowns and things like that.
So what drew you to the horses?
Look, we thought that horses was a very majestic creature that the public can probably sympathise a lot with, given that the Australian public seems quite disconnected with farm animals, and the horses seem like a good median between sort of domesticated and non-domesticated animal, and we thought it might sort of help to bridge society's compassion between those cute and fluffy animals that we love as pets and those that we don't give a second thought about, such as chooks and pigs. So that's basically why we took on the campaign, and that's where we are today.
And so I'm in Melbourne at the moment, so you're Melbourne-based.
Yeah, that's right. We're a Melbourne-based organisation, but we also operate in South Australia. We've got a campaign running over there against jumps racing.
Because jumps racing's banned.
Yeah,
in a lot of places, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Well, they ended jumps racing almost all throughout Australia. Only Victoria and South Australia still continue with the sport.
And why is that?
Just because there's a number of reasons. In Tasmania it was economic, and basically there was no popularity for it.
Yeah.
In New South Wales it was banned and made illegal, and so it's in the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act. And then states like Western Australia and Queensland ended it between 50 and 100 years ago. So yeah.
That's good. So what are the plans? How are you trying to get people to ban this in Melbourne and Victoria and South Australia?
We feel that the most effective way to show what's going on in jumps racing is to try and get the footage and the materials, such as photos of horses breaking their necks and dying, and get that to the media. And we've been successful in doing that so far, because all of the arguments have remained the same. Jumps racing is not popular, it doesn't contribute to the racing industry economically, all those sorts of things. But now we've actually got tangible materials that can be fed to the public, and that is why there's so much outrage against it and why majority of people are opposed to it.
Yeah, and like you were saying before, you have actually got a lot of your footage into the mainstream media, on national media, so that's really great. So obviously a lot of people are embracing this, or a lot of people want to hear about that. Is that what you're finding? Absolutely,
because I mean this sort of stuff hasn't really been seen before, and the media were really starved for this sort of material to expose what's going on in this cruel industry, and now that it's getting out there, people it really shows the empathy of society, because they're so outraged by what they're seeing, and that's why we're able to make such big ground. And we actually got to the stage where Racing Victoria said that they were going to ban jumps racing because it was bad for their public image, it was damaging their public image, it was turning people away from the racetracks, and they couldn't deal with it anymore. Unfortunately, they reneged on that decision, but if we've got there once, sort of, we'll get there again, and we'll be here until we do.
So what do you think about World Vegan Day internationally, 1st of November, being the same day this year as the Melbourne Cup? Do you think that's a sign? things to come, things to
Look,
changing?
it quite possibly is, but we also want to sort of use the opportunity, because in Victoria it's a public holiday. We want to use the opportunity to try and attract people to make more animal-friendly decisions. So we will in fact be holding a picnic and protest 50 metres from the entrance of the Melbourne Cup in a park, and we're basically going to have some non-animal derived foods. And obviously champagne and celebrations and things like that without having to hurt animals. So basically, if you want to forget the bird cage, come over to our bird bath, where no animals will suffer for your entertainment. And then we will go down to the gates of the Melbourne Cup and make a bit of noise for an hour.
And you don't need a cruel sort of day to get dressed up. Ward and I like to dress up anytime. You don't need an excuse.
Well, that's exactly right. It's this in itself is a good excuse to get out there and dress up, but animals don't have to suffer at your expense.
Exactly. And so tell me why you became vegan in the first place.
Look, I became vegan because I was first exposed to animal suffering when I was 16. I didn't like what I saw, and my mum always said, if you think something's wrong in the world, change it. And so that's sort of what I've dedicated my life to doing. So I think that the more that we expose the ways that animals are treated in various forms, whether they're killed for entertainment or food or clothing, etc. We have a duty to try and raise awareness about that, and it's just organic. People will not tolerate it, and will make those compassionate decisions.
Exactly. And what are the plans for the future?
Well, with the activism, the plan is to obviously step up the campaign against jumps racing, because obviously we want it to end so that animals don't have to suffer, and we'll be doing that next year. We've been upping the campaign every single year. We're currently in our 4th year of campaigning, and again, so we're going to see some big changes, hopefully, if all goes according to plan.
Yeah, that sounds good. So how can people find more about the group?
If people want to know more, they can visit horseracingkills.com.
And also on Facebook? You've got
And
quite a big Facebook.
We've got 2 pages. One is called Coalition for the Protection of Racehorses, and the other one, which is our campaign page, which is Ban Jumps Racing.
Cool. We'll check both of those out, and the website. And thank you, Ward.
Excellent. Thanks, Leigh-Chantelle.
And see vivavegan.net for more interviews with inspiring vegans.